interesting about the beginning of this week's Torah portion is that when we learn about the first mitzvah of this week's parsha, the mitzvah of Shemitah, the mitzvah of the sabbatical year, to rest the land in Israel during the 7th year, which is the year of Shemitah, the sabbatical year. The Torah says, "Vaydaber Hashem al Moshe Behar Sinai lemor." God spoke to Moses at Mount Sinai. And as Rashi and many others have pointed out, why was it necessary to go ahead and describe the location where God communicated this directive to Moshe? After all, weren't all the commandments communicated to Moshe at Sinai? So why was this mitzvah of Shemitah, the sabbatical year, unique that it had to be described in terms of the location where it occurred? So there's, obviously we see from over here, there's definitely an association between the mitzvah of the sabbatical year and the concept of Sinai. The mitzvah of the sabbatical year is basically to go ahead and abandon your field and not work on it the 7th year after you worked on it for 6 years. And obviously that requires an abundance of faith in God to go ahead and just rest the land. Where is this farmer going to go ahead and get his income? And that's what we learn from Sinai. Sinai was also an expression of faith that the Jewish people had in God when they accepted the Torah. So we see this great association between the mitzvah of the sabbatical year and the experience at Sinai. But on a deeper level, I think we have to explore for just a short moment what it means to have faith in Judaism. It doesn't mean to have blind faith, and this makes no sense to me. I will just do it anyways because that's what it says in the Torah. Actually, we believe that our faith that we have is because we have a loving relationship with God. The God that has nurtured us, created us, provided for us throughout the years, not only as people but as a nation over thousands of years. When somebody has invested so much in you, we have a loving relationship. They're going to ask you something. We're not going to go ahead and question that. It's like when you're loving somebody, someone that loves you, you know, if you ask them to do a chore or vice versa, we're not going to get hung up on that because we have a loving relationship. And that's what occurred at Sinai. What occurred at Sinai was there was a great love for the Jewish people by God, and we accepted the Torah. And because of that loving relationship, we were able to go ahead and take upon ourselves this mission of the Torah. And that's what we see with the sabbatical year as well. Because of the loving relationship that we have with God, we're able to go ahead and rest the land. Folks, many times when we talk about faith, we have to realize that faith is not something which is blind faith only, something that we're going to close our eyes and just do because it makes no sense, but rather we have to realize that we have a loving relationship with God, and that's why He wants us to go ahead and connect with Him through the Torah and the mitzvahs. Have a wonderful Shabbos.